E aí galera, voltamos. Pra quem não sabe, esse jogo aqui a gente tá fazendo uma série, então se você não viu nenhum dos episódios, eu indico que você volte e assista do primeiro, pra fazer sentido. E é isso, vamos continuar. Mano, que doideira isso, tá ligado? O pessoal aqui é tipo mercadoria. Eles não têm... Mano, aqui é a missão principal. Isso eu lembro da primeira vez que eu joguei. Que o cara fica aqui. Então, missão principal aqui, ó. Bora. Vamos falar com Thompson. Mas bem louco isso, né?
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The can's bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Ok.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. My proposition benefits the both of us. Please, hear me out. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. The geothermal plant was built by our owners, Spacer's Choice. Lit up the whole Vale once upon a time. Most of the Vale is now abandoned. All that power is going to waste. We could use the power. Cannery's been struggling. If we don't ramp up productivity, the company might cut us loose. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. The people living in the botanical labs. They're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Ok. Mas calma aí que eu tinha coisa aqui. Tá, mas eu não preciso mais falar com o cara então, né? Já falei com... Ah, tá, beleza. 2 coelhos com uma cajadada só. Tá tranquilo então. Vamos lá. Ah, tem alguma coisa nas setinhas ali. Ah, eu acho que é ela. Dá pra eu mandá-la fazer coisas.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Ah, beleza, moço. Isso aqui é maneiro, galera, porque quando vocês conseguem informações e tal, ajuda no diálogo com outras pessoas, tá ligado? Então gera mais possibilidade de diálogo e mais facilidade de você fazer outras coisas. No momento... vamos falar com o vigário primeiro, que é aqui dentro ainda. E depois a gente sai da cidade. Que aí eu vou lá falar com o cara do cemitério. O cara deve estar dentro da igreja, né?
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Eu não tenho inteligência suficiente. Acho que isso aqui seria alguma informação que eu teria conseguido de algum jeito, entendeu? Porque eu sou inteligente. Aqui não tá me dando um número. Geralmente dá um número de, tipo... Eu realmente só não tenho a informação.
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. If it were as easy as a few soothing words in the right ears, I'm sure it would have been done already. Consider it a challenge. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. The marauders I met when I ventured outside the walls might agree with you. Bastards snuck up on me while I was dutifully hunting for a banned book in a collector's library. Barely escaped with my life. But you see, one of the reasons I transferred here was to get my hands on that heretical text. If you managed to acquire it for me, I'd pay quite a handsome sum for the book. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Beleza. É, galerinha.
That was quick.
Essa porta não abre. Beleza. Eu tô meio preocupado. Eu lembro dessa mina me julgando por algumas ações, tá ligado? Porque, tipo assim, não é só porque ela tá me acompanhando que quer dizer que ela é totalmente a favor das coisas que eu faço. Mas aí vai lembrar, né? Das coisas. Eu não sei exatamente o porquê que ela me julgava. Deixa eu falar com o doido aqui. Silas.
Hey, Miss Parvati. Come for a bit? Lovely to see you about, Miss Parvati.
Things going all right, Silas?
Been keeping him careful and true, miss. Best to ask her yourself.
My dad's buried here. Silas watches over him when I can't leave the house. Oh.
Cara, não é da minha conta, garota. Mentira, gente.
Something I can do for you?
Hum...
You run into any trouble? Conrad's barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. I keep telling him he should cut a few corners. Skimp out on the disinfectant. You gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. Find some dirt on him. Maybe check his back room. That's the word, extortion. Been on the tip of my tongue all day.
Ok. Vamos acabar essa missão e a gente acaba a gravação por hoje, galera. Aí depois a gente vai pra missão principal na próxima gravação. Talvez, não sei. Ok.
Oh, I cut my own hair.
What can I do for you? You know about Eugene? How? You were probably poking around my things. I really shouldn't leave my letters sitting out in the open. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. More than a few. Those teeth were his personal savings. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
Are you asking rhetorically? Because if you're being serious... Ugh, gross.
Desperate measures, Miss Holcomb. Desperate measures. I'm going to have to ask Silas to dig up those teeth. It's the only way I'm paying my gravesite fees. The good Vicar Maximilian and I have never quite seen eye to eye, but your point is well taken. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU. Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Se eu fechar essa porta aqui, eu posso roubar as coisas sem... Não. Depois eu volto. Tem muita coisa aqui que eu quero roubar.
fancy threads. That some kind of hibernation suit? You run into any trouble? Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to. And I'll buy you a drink sometime. Suppose you've earned it. One good turn deserves another.
Perdi a taxa funerária, minha reputação com a facção mudou. Ok. Acho que tá na hora, galera. Só deixa eu ver. É aquilo, galera. A gente não precisa ler essas coisas de verdade, né? Porque vai dar mó trampo. Mas só de você ter aberto assim, você tem aquelas informações ali. Então, caso seja necessário em alguma conversa, pode ser que te ajude, entendeu? Essa é a parada. Por isso que é útil fazer isso. Então, sempre vejam as informações, porque isso pode te ajudar no futuro. Tinha uma porta. Tem uma escada aqui.
Nice.
A gente tá roubando aqui, mas como não tem ninguém pra ver, não tem problema. Além dela, né? Mas ela tá com a gente. E eu acho que no momento ela não tá julgando a gente. Vou roubar uma pá, né? Vai que seja útil. Tinha várias pá pra roubar. Então se pá dava pra roubar tudo lá no bagulho. Então, galera, agora é a missão principal, né? A gente já foi lá no cara maluco. Seria seguir pra missão principal. Eu acho que eu vou fechar essa sessão por aqui. E a gente se vê na próxima, não sei. Deve dar o quê? Uns 3 episódios essa sessão? Eu não sei quanto tempo tem de gravação. Eu esqueci de botar o cronômetro pra rodar. Mas, galera, é isso. Eu espero que vocês estejam curtindo. É aquilo, é um jogo, tem bastante ação. Só que ao mesmo tempo a gente tá muito no início. Então vai ter muito diálogo, porque isso faz bastante parte do jogo. Mas eu curto bastante esse jogo, tá ligado? Eu espero que vocês tenham acompanhando, tipo, os textos e tal, porque isso faz muito parte desse jogo. E é isso, vocês estão curtindo, deixa o like, compartilha com os amigos, se inscreve no canal se você não é inscrito e a gente se vê na próxima. Valeu!